Hey guys, I'm back with another process video. This is day 3 of our Grand Teton Yellowstone vacation. This was the morning that we left Jackson Hole to head into Yellowstone. And it was the first day that we had seen the Tetons without cloud cover. So I thought I would start my day 3, which has a lot of pieces to it. We saw a lot of things on day 3. But I thought I would start day 3 by documenting these photos here. These are just some photos that I took from a pullout where we stopped and took some photos of the Teton on our way out of the park. So I think what I'm going to start with is I've got this page protector, and I know it's hard to see, but there's a 6x8 pocket here, and 4 horizontal 4x6s. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is use one of these photos in a journaling spot in this 6x8 pocket, and then use the 4x6s in the other areas. So that'll just be one page. So I think that's where I'm going to start. So let's see what happens. Well, it has been a hot minute since I have had to edit a video. That is for sure. I apologize if I'm a little rusty at this. I will get the hang of it again, get back into putting up some process videos for you guys. I have noticed already that I'm having issues with my microphone, and I don't know what its problem is, but it keeps like stopping randomly. So if there are audio issues in this, I apologize. I will try and figure it out going forward, but I have tried to do this voiceover probably 4 or 5 times, and it just keeps randomly. So I'm going to press through, and I'm going to get this done and get it uploaded for you guys. But again, my apologies about any audio issues. I also apologize for the length of this video. I realize it is on the longer side, but I never know if people want a longer process video or a shorter process video. So if you guys would let me know in the comments which you prefer, I will definitely keep that in mind going forward. This video is the front and back of this pocket page, so it just kind of made sense for me just to lump it all into one video. But I could certainly break it up if you guys would just prefer to watch a shorter video. So again, let me know. What I am working on is a pocket page for the start of our day 3 of our trip. So we got into Jackson Hole on Saturday. We were there Saturday to Sunday. This is a Monday. Day 3 was Monday. When we got into Jackson Hole on Saturday, the weather, we had missed any weather. It was actually a really beautiful day. They had gotten a little bit of snow the night before, so there was a tiny bit of snow on the ground. It was a little on the chillier side, but it was really, for the end of September, it could not have been any more beautiful. But we did have a lot of cloud cover. So on Saturday and Sunday, we spent the days touring Grand Teton National Park. But the Tetons were covered in clouds. And so I was really, really looking forward to Monday when we knew it wouldn't be so cloudy. So this was my first, okay, I say it was my first trip. It wasn't actually my first trip. I came here as a kid, and by kid, I had to be 14, 15 years old, easily, 16. I do not remember anything about that trip. Came with my parents and my family. We stayed in Jackson Hole. I remember nothing of that trip. Is that strange? That's so weird to me that at that point in my life, I mean, I could see if I were 4 or 5 and not remembering it, but 14, 15, how do I not remember this trip? But yeah, we came and we were here, but I don't remember it, so I call this my first visit. So I was very excited to finally see the Tetons in all of their glory. So what I did is just did a little bit of journaling right there. You can see about that exact same thing. So the pocket page that I am working on has a 6x8 and 4 4x6s on it. And I always like to vary my pocket pages. I have a ton of pocket page protectors. So literally what I'll do is I go through and I don't even look. I just reach in and I pull one, and that's the one I use to try and make work. I never use the same page protectors back to back. I just like to vary, just some visual interest. I've got some smaller page protectors. which I think if you watched my kind of intro to this album, my flip through, you would have seen, smaller pocket pages. But I just always like to vary them. I never like to have the same style back to back. So this one I didn't even realize I had. I didn't know that there was a 6x8 essentially layout on this pocket page protector. So it was kind of cool to work in a 6x8 format. My project Life this year, I am doing in a 6x8 album. So I'm getting, really used to doing the 6x8 layout side size. So what I have done here is just trim down that background paper, I believe is from Kaisercraft. I'd have to double check, but the Kaisercraft and the Simple Stories collections that I am using are by far my favorite. The Kaisercraft, I believe, is called Fallen Leaves, and the Simple Stories is Autumn Splendor. But those are primarily what I am using in this album, and I am so obsessed with it. It's so beautiful. And right there you can see that's the Simple Stories Autumn Splendor. It's a small sticker pack, and I just love the way that the stickers are small and they make embellishing with them so easy. So I've just completed that 6x8, and now I'm going to go through and figure out what I want to do with these 4x6 pockets. And I have to say, I really like the visual interest that having a big 6x8 layout provides on that. I really kind of like that. I think I might use this page protector a little bit more. So I'm just popping those 4x6 photos in the page protector. I tend to do that even though I know that I'm probably going to go back and embellish those photos, because that's just what I do. I like to look at the layout when it's complete and see where I need a little bit more on the photo. So whether that be an embellishment cluster, whether I add some stamping, whatever the case may be, I will put them in the protector and look at the whole layout and then decide from there. So this card I'm going to use as my title for day 3. And this was in an area that was so beautiful. I went out for a little in this area, and actually I was looking for moose because there was a like a little swampy area that I thought, if I were a moose, I would like to hang out there. So, but no, there was no moose. So I just went for a long walk and just kind of really enjoyed the scenery. And I have to say, you guys, like full confession, was not looking forward to all of this vacation. Like this was on my bucket list. I live outside of Denver. It's an 8-hour drive, and I have never been to Yellowstone. Like that's just embarrassing to me. But it had always been on my bucket list. And, if there was ever a year for a road trip, it was 2020. So we just decided, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. And I feel like because of COVID, we were very lucky in the fact that we were able to find, availability at the hotels. I had no problem booking this trip. And I know in like a non-COVID year, you have to plan at least a year ahead and book your accommodations and stuff. And I feel lucky that we were able to do this trip on literally a whim. I think we left in September, and I think I planned this in maybe August. So in a normal non-COVID year, that probably would not have happened. So I am very, very grateful that we got to do this trip when we did. Again, I say I was not looking forward to it. I was looking forward to the Teton portion of it. For some reason, like the Yellowstone just didn't appeal to me. I was like, oh, I just don't want to go see a bunch of geysers and blah, blah. I have never been so wrong. This was hands down my favorite vacation ever. And you guys know me, like I'm a Disney girl. I love my Disney, but this was beyond. I will definitely go back here again. There's so many things that we just didn't get to see that I really wanted to see and really wanted to experience and spend more time at. The wannabe photographer in me had a heyday here. It was just, the scenery is beautiful. The difference in Teton National Park versus Yellowstone National Park was night and day difference. I was not prepared for how incredibly different those two areas would be. But it was just my favorite vacation. I loved it so much. So, yeah, I will definitely be back. Definitely. I'm really actually kind of hoping for 2021. Oh, that's this year, 2021. I best get on that if I want to do that. So, but yeah, like I said, the wannabe photographer in me loved this vacation. So again, this is an area where I just went out and wandered and just took my camera. I took my big DSLR and just loved every second of it. Loved it all. So I tend to have a lot of the same photos. A lot of my photos look the same, although I may have turned slightly and gotten a different angle. I still scrapbook those photos. Like, this is why I have 600 photos. This is why, because I just can't narrow it down and choose my favorites. I just have to include them all, and I pay the price by having to scrapbook 600 photos. So what I'm doing now is just pulling out some of these photos, and I decided there was a couple that needed a little bit of embellishing. And what I look for is a spot on the photo. So like this one, I've got a lot of blue sky up there, and I could easily add an embellishment cluster without taking away from the photo. And so that's what I'm doing. And then when I look at the layout as a whole, I think, okay, I've got an area here. So you're going to see me go to that one on the bottom right there, because I'm like, okay, I could spread out and do an embellishment cluster up there in that corner too, and that will work. I don't always do that, but typically on each one of my pocket pages for sure, there is at least one photo that I've added additional embellishing to, just because I've mentioned this before. It's with pocket pages, it's so easy to just throw them in your photos in a pocket and call it done. But that isn't creative. That's not the creative process for me. I enjoy the creativity that is in scrapbooking, and I would miss out on that if I just threw the photos in a page and what am I doing? That's the wrong photo. But I would miss that creative process if I didn't go back and embellish some of the photos. So that is what I am doing right now. I just created some banners, and I'm going to add those up there. And then I pull out that Simple Stories little sticker book again, and just find a couple little stickers that I can add. They don't have to be any big deal. Oh, you know what? Actually, nope. Too big. Yes. Okay. That was the Simple Story sticker sheet. And that little fall sticker was a little bit too large for what I was looking for. So I had a feeling. I went back and pulled this out. So there's just some really pretty fall embellishments in here. There's some word strips. Can I just tell you guys too what happened with my word strips? So I have a healthy stack of tiny word phrases. I use them all the time because I love to do just that thing right there, where I add, and you could not see a thing that said, but it said, just chillin'. Yeah. So I love to add tiny word stickers, and I've always had a stack of them. I created a wedding album for my daughter. Finally, 5 years after she got married, I 6 years after she got married, I decided to finally create her wedding album for her. So I finished that right before I moved on to this album. I know that I used my stack of word stickers in that album. I cannot find them anywhere. And my biggest fear is that I accidentally threw them out. I have gone through everything. I don't have a ton. I don't tend to hoard scrap supplies, so I don't have a ton of things that I use that I would have to go through, because I don't know where they're at. I have no idea. So I did have to go and order a whole bunch more. But yeah, that was kind of disappointing, because I had so many of them that I just loved and I used all the time, but I don't know where they're at. So anyway, back to the layout. I am working the backside of that 6x8 pocket. And the nice thing is that I've got that pretty green grid right there that I can use as the background for this, so I don't have to use another sheet of paper. So that again is that dot paper is the Kaisercraft. And the nice thing about these Kaisercraft papers is that even the branding strips are amazing. So I think you saw me show that there is a branding strip at the bottom of that page that I wanted to use on this. And it's just it's like the definition of explore. So I cut that off, and I'm going to go ahead and use that on this layout as well. So the photo that I'm working with right now is a photo of Mount Moran, which is one of the more prominent mountains in the Teton range. And we were just outside of an area called Oxbow Bend, which is another well-photographed area of the Teton National Park. But we pulled over because the fall colors were just stunning, and that view, like, oh, it was so amazing. So amazing. So yeah, I really enjoyed getting out and taking photos of that. And I wanted to kind of make this one my focal point of this page because it is one of my favorite photographs of that area. So I just pulled out this authentique paper and I'm mounting it on there. I thought the dots went well together, and that is more of a fall dot paper. So it kind of brings out the colors of the photo as well. So I'm just inking my edges as I do. I've added that branding strip down at the bottom. Again, it's the definition of explore. And I'm just going to add that, that falling leaves word strip, even though it's not really a falling leaves, but you know, it works, whatever. So I'm going to add that little tree, and I'm going to pretty much call this layout good. I try to put that little embellishment on there, and I decide not to. I decide to just leave it how it is. The back side of this layout came together actually pretty quickly. Because I've got the visual interest in the 6x8, I didn't really feel the need to embellish the photos a lot on this side, whereas I did on the other side. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to that, but it's pretty simple. I call that one good, and I just move on. So I really only end up embellishing one other photo. So I'm just going to pop these other 4x6s in here and call those good. Look at those fall colors. Like, oh, gosh, that was just so beautiful. So beautiful. And then you've got the clouds hanging out in there. It was such a pretty, pretty area. So I'm going to put those in their pockets, and I'm going to end up embellishing that picture just a tiny bit. And then I'll call this layout done. So I don't really have any rhyme or reason to when I stop embellishing my photos. From the front side, you can see I embellished quite a few of them, and this side I only embellished one. So there's really no rhyme or reason. I just do whatever feels good, whatever looks good. And I felt like the other photos kind of stood out on their own. I didn't really need to do anything to distract from them, but I can't leave well enough alone, and I have to embellish something. So that is what I end up doing here. Just added a little strip of washi tape and that little embellishment, and then that layout is done. So you'll see some up close views of that layout. But I wanted to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope this video wasn't too long. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Don't forget to comment below about the video length. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.